Welcome, everybody. So we are recording this. We want to be able to share it with those that couldn't be with us tonight. My name is Brandon Vavra. I'm the Assistant Scout Executive. Just want to welcome everybody and thank you for joining us. I know this year has been just crazy, and we're working our hardest to make sure we've got something for everyone this fall, and we want to be able to invite every eligible youth to join our great program this fall. So. And I hope all your families are doing safe and doing well, and you're doing your best to enjoy the summer. So a couple things. You are all on mute. You don't have the ability to unmute yourself. If you have questions during the evening, just type it in the chat, and we will be addressing those directly in chat or talk about them at the end, whatever is necessary. For the best viewing, you may put it on speaker view. That might be the best for you to kind of see what's going on. And we're going to go over a few things tonight. But I do want to share a quick thing. Our Council Vice President of Membership, Roger Duncan, he wasn't able to be with us tonight, but he was here last week, and he had, I'm just going to share his opening that he did last week, just so you can kind of see his comments. And share.
We actually operate, and but that being said, if there's ever been a time for scouting in my lifetime, I think it's now. I mean, people are really conflicted with moral decisions today and political decisions today that affect their lives, and I just feel like if some of these people had a better background in morals and ethics and those kind of things, we might see some different outcomes in how things are being handled in today's world. And so I think it's a time that scouting the world really needs scouting. And so recruitment is more important than ever. And as usual, nothing changed from the standpoint of we're still competing against their attention for other things. And I don't want to say it's good news because it's not good news, but a thing that this pandemic may have helped us with is, they may not be able to play soccer or football in the fall like they used to, because that may all be canceled. So they may be looking for things to do that they can do as a family that doesn't expose them to risk and their kids at risk this time. And I think we have a program that can help with that, and do that and give them something else to do. So for that, I'm going to hand it over to Brandon, and he can take it from there.
Thank you, Roger. I just want to start it off with, I'm going to share my screen a little bit and talk about where we've been as a council with our sort of membership trends, where we're going, and some goals for the year. So I'm going to go back to a share screen here. And I love some graphs and charts and numbers and spreadsheets and everything like that. So this is a graphical representation of kind of year-end Cub Scout membership for the last decade. So from 2010 through 2019. And so what you're seeing is you've got month end, so June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So this represents our kind of fall recruitment cycle. If you'd ignore the first kind of 4 years on this, those years kind of represent some major policy changes in the BSA that didn't go over super well here in our council. But since then, we've sort of leveled out, still having some drops as kind of we face some uphill battles of just all kinds of things going on in the world, and other competition for kids' time. As you can see, we ended last year with 2,543 total youth. So this is Cub Scouts only, and it doesn't include our LDS members. Kind of pulled that out of here so that it doesn't skew it even more. And this doesn't include some of our Scout Reach direct served youth. So you can kind of see where we've been. the last handful of years have been somewhat level, with last year didn't quite end where we wanted to end. This one is a little bit more telling. This is the number of Cub Scout packs, again, non-LDS and non-Scout Reach units that we've had in the council. So as you can see, in 2010 we had, I don't know what that number is, it's like 98 or 99, I don't have the number it didn't showing, but almost 100 community Cub Scout packs is what we call that. And it sort of has waved and gone down all the way down to 67 at the end of last year. So that is a very concerning trend, especially when you see the next page. And so our goal, you know, we're not here to hit up everybody to split off and start a new pack, but our goal is to maintain every single Cub Scout pack that we have currently. And, you know, I know that's going to be difficult for some units this year, but it's always our goal. Starting a new Cub Scout pack is extremely difficult. It takes a lot of work. You all know how much work it takes to just make your own pack go, and to completely start from scratch with all new parents and leaders. It really takes a lot of work. So, you know, that's always our goal, is to maintain every pack that we have. And if we have opportunities to start new packs, we are all over it, and always appreciate any help that volunteers can give to make that happen. So our staff is really small. We can't be everywhere all the time, and certainly this is a volunteer-run organization. We certainly appreciate all your help. So, but the next one is a little more telling. This is our average pack size. This is the mean average of every pack in our council over the last 10 years. So you can see it has not changed significantly. It's come in waves here. But over the last 3 years, we've gone 39, 39, 38, while losing membership every year. And we're losing membership every year because we're losing packs every year. And so that's definitely a concerning trend. Frequently, we will see when a pack kind of wants to fold up and call it quits because all their leadership is sort of given up, or maybe they didn't recruit leadership. That's probably one of the biggest things, is all of your leadership, and maybe some of you have this in your unit now. If all of your leadership is in that Webelos range, they're parents of Webelos, and you don't have any leaders that are other age ranges, that is a concerning trend. But what we see sometimes is a unit says, well, we're just going to go join the pack that's the next school over, and we're going to be twice as big, and we're going to have twice as much fun, and mathematically that never pans out. We've got a neighborhood here in Colorado Springs that a decade ago had 3 packs at 3 different elementary schools, each serving about 50 youth each. So 150 kids in Cub Scouts in one neighborhood. And today there's 1 pack in those 3 schools serving about 40 kids. So and every single one of them has been, we're just going to join the pack at the next school over, and we're just going to be twice as big. So it just doesn't ever pan out that way. So we want to just address that, if that's ever something you're thinking about. But it is important that we continue to do our best to recruit more youth, and especially recruit youth and recruit adult parents into leadership roles. So I'm going to stop that. But yeah, that's, like I said, it's one of our big goals, is to retain every pack that we started the year with and provide an opportunity for every youth to join scouting, no matter what that's going to look like. We want to provide that opportunity. In certain portions of scouting, and Roger kind of talked about this a little bit in his intro, certain portions of scouting translates really well to an online environment, and others don't. But you know, very little of soccer and football translate to an online environment. But we've got an opportunity to take advantage of some activities being canceled, and I think that can be a bit of a win for scouting. But most importantly, we're a great youth organization, and we want to invite every kid that's eligible to come join our organization. And I think you'll all agree that this is an awesome organization. It is going to look a little differently this fall. We don't know exactly how many youth to expect to recruit. That is definitely a concern, but we're here to help you in any way we can to be sure that we reach out to every family. One thing to note, in the past, our staff was able to do a lot of work for a unit when it came to recruitment. We could do we go into the schools and do lunch talks. We could print up those flyers and take them to schools. We could even schedule schools for some of that. A lot of that stuff is going to be off the table. If there is a school that allows us to do a lunch talk this year, I will be blown away. But we've got some digital resources for that. It'll be a little different in delivery, but could be interesting. We'll show you some of that later. But I'm talking about units having a lot more online presence. We're going to talk about that, but it's going to take a little bit more work from each of our units to have that online presence, and you can do a lot of that from home. There's also something pretty cool. There's currently a nationwide project to make a video recording of every single Cub Scout adventure to help with, not only to help with virtual scouting, but I think these videos will also really help every single den leader to kind of, maybe you're not really good at delivering this adventure in person. You can share this video, or you can look at the video yourself to get some tips and hints. And so I think it's just going to, in general, make scouting better. So that project is going to be completed here in the next few weeks and wrapped up, and all those videos are going to be linked through Scoutbook for your unit leader usage. And we've got some ideas. We're on national webinars just all the time, talking to other councils, seeing what's working, what they think is going to work, we all don't really know what's going to work, but we think we've taken what we believe and all of these things that we've been listening to and learning over the last few months, and we've boiled it down into kind of 5 easy steps, 5 easy to digest steps, and we're asking every one of our Cub Scout packs to follow these 5 steps. And so we're going to talk about each of those 5 steps, and I am going to pass it on over to James to talk about Be a Scout.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you so much for joining us this evening on our virtual meeting to talk about what we can do for membership and recruitment. So my portion, I'm going to talk about what we can do to update. The most critical point is updating our Be a Scout pin. And honestly, National has done such a great job right now for the past year or so, because we're so familiar of how Be a Scout and Be a Scout pin updates was a little bit cumbersome, but now it's become a lot more friendly to the user. And so it's easy to manage, even easier to check on both your invitation leads and prospective scouts, and to manage your online applications. If you don't have your online applications turned on for your unit, it's going to be highly recommended that we suggest that you do that. And so what we do have is I'm going to go ahead and show you, I'm going to show you a brief video on how to actually do that. And so if you would bear with me real quick, I'm going to go ahead and share my browser. Thank you.
Be a Scout is the way that families who are looking to join a scouting unit can easily find your unit and apply. If a family Googles Join Scouting, they will be directed to Be a Scout. The site is also used in social media advertisements that promote joining scouting and some council advertisements. By setting up your unit PIN, your unit information will show on Be a Scout, and you will be ready to accept new families into your unit. Here you can see that the first unit has set up their PIN, including some information about their unit meeting times, and enabled the Apply Now button. The second unit has not set up their PIN, so only the Request More Information button shows. If you were a parent, which unit would you think is more welcoming and wants new members? So that your unit will be ready to accept new families through Be a Scout, in this session you will learn how to access Be a Scout tools in my.scouting.org, update your unit information, change your unit PIN mode and status, and select fields to display on your unit PIN. To access the Be a Scout tools, you will first need to log into your my.scouting account. Then go to the menu icon at the top left-hand corner of your screen. From the drop-down menu, select the unit you would like to set up, and then select Organization Manager for that unit. From here, select the unit PIN on the left-hand side of your screen. First, let's review the unit information. Make sure the Appear on Be a Scout button is set to the On position. If the check mark is visible, then the setting is in the On position. This will make the PIN show on the map. Next, set the Allow People to Apply Online button to the On position with the check mark showing. This allows families to fill out their application and pay their national and council fee, if any, so that all you have to do is accept them and onboard them into your unit. Then review the contact information for your unit. The person listed will receive emails and field inquiries for your unit. Many units like to use a unit email rather than a personal email here. Just be sure a person is assigned to monitor the email box so that families receive timely replies. If you need to change the contact information, use the Edit button to make the changes. None of the information you enter here will show until you select the fields you want to display. Enter your unit's web address if you have one so that prospective members can find out more about your unit and what is going on there. Any additional information that a family would need to know about your unit, such as the day and time the unit usually meets, can go here. Remember, these parents may not know anything about scouting, so use language that they'll understand rather than scouting terms. Now review the unit meeting address. It will automatically default to your chartered organization address. If you do not meet at that location, change the address to your meeting location so that families can find you. Then press the Locate button and the latitude and longitude for the address you entered will be mapped. The last step is to select the fields you would like displayed on your unit PIN. The fields you can choose from are displayed in the unit PIN preview. You will see the unit type you configured and settings will automatically show, and the Apply Now will show if you enabled it in the previous steps. The fields you select will display in the unit PIN preview as you enable them so that you can see what will be displayed on your Be a Scout PIN. To recap what we learned in this session, we explored how to access the Be a Scout tools in My.Scouting, how to update your unit information, change your unit PIN mode and status, and select the fields to display on your unit PIN. Once you've completed these steps, you are ready to start getting leads and applications through your Be a Scout links.
All right, awesome. So I will be uploading a PDF tutorial on how to do this if you did not catch any of certain parts of this video. So we'll go ahead and continue on. But another thing that you will notice is that when you actually do go, this is what a family or a parent will look at when they actually go into beascout.org. I'm going to go ahead and select one of my packs here in the Frontier D49, which is pack 149. And so we have the information as far as the meeting location, where they're at. We have the point of contact, their phone number, an email, a website URL that'll direct them to their social media account. Now, let's keep in mind when you actually go into a URL or a web page, it doesn't have to be a specific internet page. You can use your social media account for Facebook as long as you have a valid URL to put in there, so that way they can go ahead and contact somebody if that's something that they would like to use. We also see that this particular pack is a family pack because it does have dens for boys and girls, and they do have online registration available for the unit. Additionally, they also have notes that says, you know, they are accepting boys and girls from kindergarten to 5th grade throughout the school year, and they have a meeting location at the school on Tuesdays at from 6:30 to 7:30. This is typical because of pre-COVID restrictions, but they also have the Apply Now, and that is what they will go into. It'll go directly to their online application. Additionally, let me go ahead and select here. The unit the key three, or those individuals that are part of the membership team, can actually look at information pertinent to their unit when it comes down to new inquiries going into application. And this one particular is going to be your application page. We also have another tab open into our invitation. And what's really cool about the invitation page is that each unit will have their own individual QR code that you can download by clicking on here. And you can use that QR code for your specific flyers for recruitment, or you also have the URL specific for your Be a Scout online application. Remember this, because I'm going to come back to it in a minute. And now your social media engagement, which Rachel will talk about in a few minutes. But what I would like to tell you is that if you have some type of page that talks about your unit, you'll notice that on this part right here, this button has been tailored to go ahead, and if a family wants to go ahead and join, they can go ahead and click on that, and it will automatically direct them to their online application, okay? By doing that, we go back to that URL, and if you have the administrator rights to do that, you can go ahead and tailor that specific button, so that way now you have parents who have an opportunity to do this twice, or two advantages to go ahead and do that. Go to the bscout.org for apply now, or that Facebook pages they use for social media. But other than that, there's a whole bunch of great information here. Just make sure that you go onto your specific my.scouting user page and update all the pertinent information that you need, and you will have a successful online application endeavor to go ahead and get more people to start signing up through this phase. Let me go ahead and stop my share. With that, I am going ahead and talk about the importance of making sure that you regularly check on your application, your online applications through my.scouting. Your district executive for your own districts, get these emails regularly when we have unit or individuals that will apply for information as far as in the invitation or the online application phases in the Be a Scout sector. So not only will you get it, and if you are not regular, we'll go ahead and send you an email saying, hey, you have a new lead to contact this individual. We'll do as much as we can to assist you if you are unable to do that on your end. But we will definitely make sure that we will always do follow-ups and continue to do follow-ups, even if it's just a family that's just wanting to get more information. But with that, as I have already mentioned about social media, I'm going to go ahead and give that to the expert in charge, and we'll go ahead and give it to Rachel. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a whole bunch of questions, and we'll be here to help you out as much as possible. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Hey, everybody. First off, thanks, everyone, for being here. Hope this is a lot of information, new information, or reiterated information that you guys find useful and helpful for recruitment this year. But as James kind of pointed out, it is extremely important right now that all of our units have a social media presence. With everything moving virtually, with COVID and without COVID, parents really want a one-click stop, especially, for purchases, for, online information, for going to restaurants, for ordering, for signing their kids up for a program. They really want that one click and done. So the platforms that I'm going to go over tonight will really, really be useful in allowing for parents to have that opportunity with the most information at their disposal. So as James mentioned, having a Facebook. Now, a lot of you probably have a Facebook group, but I highly recommend that everybody have a Facebook page as well as a Facebook group. Now, why is that? So Facebook page is your connection to the community. It is your chance to recruit. It is your chance to get your pack known. Your Facebook group is for those who are already members of the pack. So I'm gonna share my screen, 1 second. All right, so here's kind of a basic page that I've set up. And for more information about how you guys can go about setting up any of the platforms that I go over, there is a video that we have posted on the Pikes Peak Council YouTube page, which will go through step by step how to set up every single one of these platforms that I go through. Or you can just reach out to me or a district executive, and we're happy to help walk you guys through this. But basically, so the main thing is I've put New Colorado Springs PAC as my page identifier. It is very, very useful, and I encourage you, all of you who already have a Facebook page set up, to go back and add Colorado Springs or whatever community you are in to your page, because how many PAC 20s are there? How many PAC 101s are there? So this will really, really help your parents identify, your leads identify. You also have the ability to go in to your settings and make this as public as possible or as private as possible. Again, this is for the community, so you want as much information to be shown as possible. But again, it's up to you as your PAC to decide what that means. You have the ability to go in and add administrators. Who do you want to be able to see this page? You can target, let's say, elementary or parents with elementary school kids. You can target those people. So really going in and familiarizing yourself with those settings is very, very helpful. Hang on one second. My computer is slow, I apologize. So one of the main things about having a Facebook page as well this year, many of you remember last year how we did national geofencing. So this year, we really, really, again, encourage everybody to get their own PAC Facebook page so that you can co-host your own geofenced ad this year. Council is going to be providing all of that, but we want you guys to be able to actually co-host and have control as well over that. So a lot of you probably remember some of the success that we had with geofencing last year. Some of you don't know possibly what geofencing is. Basically, I'm going to use a school right down the road from me, Grand Mountain School. So let's say I'm having my Joint Scout night on August 21st, and I want anybody who comes in contact with Grand Mountain School to know and get an ad on their Facebook. So Geofence takes a virtual circumference, basically on a map around that school, and anyone that we target, again, parents with elementary school kids, anyone who drives through that virtual circumference will get an ad on their Facebook with that information, with contact information, with your Joint Scout Night event. So it is very, very important that even though our Joint Scout Nights will look very different this year, that we have that information as soon as possible so we can get those geofence ads up as soon as possible. So that also brings me to content on your Facebook page. So I'm sure many of you are familiar with Council's Facebook page. Here it is if you don't know what it looks like, but a lot of you probably are very familiar with some of the content that is already on here. It's very engaging. It's not just words, it's pictures, it's videos, live stream videos. The more engaging your content, the more information you have on your content, the more willing people are to continue to look at it, the more they are willing to engage with it. So I really, really encourage anybody, any of your administrators, anybody who has access to posting on your page, do it as much as possible. A couple times a week, but I encourage more, because again, the more content, the more vibrant, the more engaging your page is, the more leads are willing to stay and keep looking and keep scrolling and see what you guys are all about. So that is really, really, really useful. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Your page, like I said, is part of the community. So there are other pages as well all over Colorado Springs. It's very useful to go through and make sure you like and engage on other pages as well. What other pages are those? Many schools, many school districts have their own Facebook page. Many PTOs, PTAs have their own Facebook page. Your city councils, your city might have its own Facebook page. Engaging on those and, you know, telling your communities or engaging with your schools and being able to say, hey, we're having this event tonight, or we're selling popcorn at school. Make sure, you know, you come and see us. We're having a back to school night. Come and see Pack 475 tonight at our school's event. Being able to have engagement on other community pages is extremely, extremely useful. So Facebook really is such a good presence to have, and everybody knows, everybody's on it. We're all engaging on it. So again, if you need help setting it up, we're happy to help. Go view those videos. Some of you probably are already on Instagram as well. Even though it's tied to Facebook, it is its own platform. And you, parents, not just leaders, but parents of the pack as well, you are your kids' biggest advocate. You are your kids and your pack's best tool for advertising. So posting pictures of what your kids are doing on Facebook, on Instagram, using those hashtags. Brandon can go over a couple of the hashtags that we really, really use. Pikes Peak Council, hashtag Pikes Peak Council, hashtag scouting, hashtag whatever your pack number is. Those go a long way, and they are the best form of online virtual advertising. So I highly, highly recommend anybody who's on Instagram or anybody not on Instagram, use those as well. So we're going to go to the next platform called Nextdoor. Some of you may have heard of this. It is not just a site for lost puppies or noise complaints or anything like that. This is a good tool to use for neighborhood recruitment specifically. You can see this is my actual personal one, and I'm in Widefield, so my posts on here will reach anyone in a Widefield neighborhood. This is a free platform. It's very secure. You have to go through a little bit of a process to set it up to make sure you are who you say you are. But I do encourage every single parent, not just leaders, but every single parent in your pack to post your Join Scout Nights or any other events that your pack is having on this site. Because it really, really brings out community engagement and neighborhood engagement. Perhaps, you know, you have one kid or a couple kids who are in a neighborhood that the rest of your pack is not in. Being able to engage with that neighborhood is probably not something at your disposal without something like this. So really, really encouraging everybody to get set up on this. Again, it's super, super easy. And it is free. So one thing I will say, some neighborhoods have a little bit of restrictions. For example, my neighborhood only allows me to post advertisements on Mondays. So familiarize yourself with what your neighborhood does and doesn't allow. And then we're gonna go to Google Maps. Google is the most utilized search engine in the world. If you are searching for something, you are most likely using Google. And that's from school organizations, youth organizations, restaurants, reviews, anything. Everybody is searching on Google. So using what's called Google My Business, again, it is a free platform. You can spend money to do personal ads, but that I'm not really going to go over tonight. That's up to you guys. But using just Google Maps, it's free, it's easy, and I can help walk you through it if you need to. But basically, it puts your pack on the map, literally on the map. As you can see, we do have a couple packs in Colorado that are now up and running, but this one is the most advanced that I have seen so far. So it is in Texas. I apologize, Coloradans, but we're going to use this as an example. So it's Cub Scout Pack 321. And as you can see, you have it shown up exactly on the map where it is. It's their charter organization or where they meet. But you also have their website, the contact information, where they meet, and when they meet. So here's where a good place to put your Facebook page. It's a good place to add the URL for your application. So it goes right to your Be a Scout pin. It also has reviews. So people who are going and searching this pack, they can see this is a great place for them to drop off their kids. 4.8 out of 5 stars. It's pretty awesome. So reviews are something that everybody going online looks for. Is it worth it? You know, is it worth my time? So the more information you have on all of these platforms, any of the platforms that I've gone over, the more willing people are to click and go. The more information that you guys provide, the better. So again, I will reiterate, if you need a step-by-step of how to set any of this up, please let me know. Please go visit those YouTube videos and that will walk you through. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Diana. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rachel. And once again, thanks, guys, for coming tonight. We can't put into words how important this year it is for all of our virtual and all our leads through PIN, through Facebook. Everybody needs to try to get connected, and we're all here, Monica, James, myself, and Rachel, to help you set those up, give you tools. We have tons of pictures in our national marketplace that we can share with you if you don't want to use pictures with your own kids. So please don't hesitate to get with us. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to go over some tools that we've all used in the last couple of years. A lot of you have recognized them. But first, I want to talk about what National's giving to us right now. And one of the big things National is doing is giving us webinars, and they're all free. And if you can't make them on their scheduled times, they're all being recorded just like ours is tonight. And you can go back and look at those. I want to share those with you real quick. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. Okay, so here is the website, and I'm going to post the address here on the bottom in the chat, and Brandon's going to give it out tomorrow with all of our information. But you can see they have one on the 16th, and they have the next one coming up on the 27th. And this one actually I'm going to, and I think some of our other staff members are going to too, is talking about geofencing. We're talking about social media. We're talking about peer-to-peer recruitment and how important it is. And this is just like in this webinar, you can chat with other people from other councils. You can chat with some other DEs, see what other councils and districts are doing to get more information, because not every council is doing the same thing. And sometimes it's a good idea just to have a sounding board to talk about information. Real easy. All you have to do is hit the registration button, just like you did for ours. Put in your information and you'll get an email. So once again, all of these are going to be posted, and we'll give you those information for all of that. Okay. Next, I want to show you guys, if I can go full screen. This is information. Brandon, let me know if you can see that. Oh, no, Monica's shaking no. Let's see if I can share my screen again. Let me see. Share my screen. Can we see that one, Monica? Can you see the pictures? Yeah, okay. These are all tools that we've all used in the past. We all know what most of them are. We have a new one on there. We have our bookmarks. I know this year we might not be able to use them going into the libraries or going into the Scholastic Book Fair, but we could use those for peer-to-peer cards. We put stickers on the back of them. The next one is door hangers. This one's pretty important this year. If you have kids in your neighborhood, we can use those, put stickers, information, and encourage all of your scouts to add 3 door hangers to their buddies in the neighborhood to invite them to scouts. Brandon's also working on a really great one. Hopefully we can use for popcorn, and we'll get into that popcorn season. But door hangers are a great way to get your scouts to recruit for you. Another good one is postcards. And the postcards here, We have a few of those in the office, or you can print those off the media page as well, but try to use all of the information we can give you for free. We're going to, take orders, and all of this is at our office that we're going to give to you guys. If you encourage all of your scouts to do 3 postcards to buddies, maybe that aren't in the same neighborhood, but you still want them to recruit, also, guess what? It's a requirement. Most Cub Scouts have to do some type of writing exercise for some requirements. So this is a great opportunity to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. They're recruiting friends, but they're also practicing their writing skills. They're also, getting a requirement. All right, the next one is our yard signs. I know all of you know what they are. You probably still have some in your cars. You probably still have some in your garages. We have tons of them in the office, and Brandon's ordered a bunch this year. We've also ordered some for Scouts BSA. If any of you are out there that have packs and troops and Scout BSA troops, girl troops, boy troops, all of them. We have a campaign this year. Last year we did the 1031 by 1031. This year, our goal is to do 1,000 yard signs. And with that, we want yard signs everywhere. If you see a political sign, put a Cub Scout sign next to it. Talk to your McDonald's. Talk to your local restaurants. Do you have parents that have businesses? We want them to get those yard signs everywhere. And then we want to encourage all our scouts, and we want all of you guys to share it on your social media pages. Hashtag scouting in Colorado Springs, or hashtag scouting is here. We want Colorado Springs to know that we are here and we are still recruiting and we still have a program to offer. So 1,000 yard signs before the end of December. Let's get them everywhere, guys. This is huge. All right, posters for school. I know we don't know what school's going to look like, but we can still see if we can ask our principals and teachers to put in those posters just to have information out. Peach Jar, we'll have that again, or maybe a virtual backpack. You get the contact to us. We will put it together on the flyer. We will get it up onto the Peach Jar and other digital formats through the school. It's super, super important. All right, so we've had all our material. We've gotten our information out. We have yard signs all over the neighborhood. We need to talk about our Joint Scout Nights. It is crucial that we schedule at least 2 Joint Scout Nights. Now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, that's great, but how are we going to do our meetings? We can still have our meetings virtually, or do you have a park nearby? Can we do smaller groups? Can we have our units meet with just the new parents? We have our den leaders and our new parents, and those kids come. And then once we get them to come to our Joint Scout Nights, we have them then join the units. Let's go back to old school scouting. I know a lot of units out there do meetings like everyone meets on Monday night, everyone meets at the church, everyone breaks out, and then we meet back at the end. We don't think we're going to be able to do that. A lot of you have seen a couple comments and questions. What do we do if school doesn't let us back in? Well, we might need to break it down. We need to do den meetings in the den leaders' living room. We might need to do meetings at the park. We might need to look at the library. We may need to look at smaller groups, but still have meetings, or do our virtual stuff. You can put a den kit together in a box, have one den leader deliver those den kits, just like we did day camp in a box, and then have a Zoom meeting and everyone put together their balloon rockets. Everyone put together their airplanes, and we can talk about it, and the kids can still get together, engage, and then do an activity. So we have to think outside the box. Let's see, peer-to-career cards. So recruitment nights are super important. Lunch talks, like Brandon said, we don't know if we can get into the schools. So the national office, once again, has offered another free platform for us that we can use. Videos, and real quick, I'm gonna have Brandon show us some of those real quick if you can. Do you have one set up, Brandon? Okay.
Oh, hello there. My name is Dax, and I'm a Cub Scout. I'm here to talk to you today about becoming a Cub Scout, like me. Cub Scouts get badges for doing fun activities. We make friends. Scouts go camping, climbing, fishing, and swimming together. We have fun. We play sports, go to parades. Scouts also help people and become the best versions of themselves. Visit bscout.org to find a pack near you.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. So you saw the video, and at the very end, we were able to add a little bit of information at the end of what their pack, where they meet, what time. Every school that I've been into for lunch talks in the last 5 years has some type of video or some type of big flat screen TV when you walk into the entryway. So we're at this point where we don't know if we can get flyers or we can do lunch talks. But what we can do is ask the principals if we can put that video on their slideshow, or if we can have that playing during lunch, or maybe in the classrooms once or twice. All we can do is ask. What can they do? Tell us no. But if we never ask, we can never get the yes. So our biggest thing is using those videos inside the schools as much as possible, but also using those on your social media page, using those on Instagram. Have your parents share those on the Nextdoor Neighbor app. And there's all kinds of different videos. That's not the only one, so we can customize it to fit you guys and your unit. But the biggest thing is just getting the word out. I have a million questions a lot as they see, if I get off work, my friends go, Scouts is still here in Colorado Springs? Yes, Scouts is still here. Or I get the question of, oh, COVID hasn't killed scouting? No, we can still do virtual things. We can still do virtual meetings. The football team may be canceled because they can't do their drills or games. But we can still have Merit Badge Saturdays and Cub Scout camporees in the backyard with all of this information, and we can use all of these tools for recruitment. We have an upper hand this year. All right, and with that, I'm going to throw it to Monica. If you have any questions, let me know.
All right, hi guys. If you don't know me, my name is Monica Kennedy, and I am a district director with both Jamboree and High Plains districts. So I serve School District 20 in Colorado Springs and everything essentially to the Kansas border. So thanks to everybody from High Plains for being here. Really excited to see you guys. It's been a while. So there are a couple of things I want to do. First and foremost, I do want to say thank you guys so much for being here. Even if you're not the primary contact for your unit, I absolutely cannot tell you how much we appreciate your time and your energy and everything that you guys are doing for scouting. This is an incredibly difficult time, and we know it's not normal and it's not what we're used to, but we really appreciate everybody's ability to adapt and to change with what we have that's been thrown our way. So thank you guys so much for all of that. Big thing I want to talk about is we don't really know what this fall is going to happen or what it's going to look like. If you're in El Paso County, because I'm specifically in that county, I can tell you there have been a lot of news articles lately about how we might be regressing. We might be moving back into the safer at home if we continue with higher COVID numbers, which means we won't be in the ability to have meetings under the Protect Your Neighbor order. So making sure that we have a plan put together for whatever is thrown our way is incredibly important. So number one, what does that mean for recruitment? Well, first, it means being prepared to host virtual recruitment nights. We with the Pikes Peak Council, no matter what unit you are in, we are willing to help and want to help host your recruitment nights through Zoom. So just like this, we can host a virtual platform where we can create breakout rooms. If we have multiple units on the same night, we can all do essentially a basic, here's what scouting is, and then create different breakout rooms based on community or based on different schools that you guys are recruiting from, very, very, very easily. And then each unit will have the opportunity to then talk about unit specific information. Those are going to be really crucial. And we've all said the word a million times, it's going to be critical as we move into this fall, just because we don't know what we're going to get. So I'm hoping with those at least 2 recruitment nights that you're doing that Diana talked about, that we hope that one of those can be in person. But if they cannot, then we do have the ability to host a virtual recruitment night through Zoom, and we're happy to do so. So making sure that we get your dates early for the dates that you would like to select is huge, because the sooner we have those dates, the sooner we can start advertising for your units. The second part of being prepared for this fall is being prepared for a hybrid version of scouting. So we anticipate, or we would like to anticipate, the ability to host smaller meetings, so den meetings, and then the necessary need to host PAC meetings virtually. I've seen a lot of different units do a lot of different things in the last 4 months, right? We've got some units that just aren't sure really what they're doing when it comes to a virtual PAC meeting, and some that are doing amazing things. And so what I would like to do is I'd actually like to share with you one of my PACs here in Colorado Springs, and what they put together for essentially one of their very first, I think this is their second, virtual PAC meeting. So I want to show you an example real quick, and we will talk about that. So I'm going to share my screen. All right, so this is PAC 165. So they put together a PowerPoint presentation, which is actually pretty cool. That was a version of how to do their PAC meeting online, largely not knowing what they needed to do. So they introduced everybody, said hi. They had an agenda right off the bat, so everybody knew what to expect. They did this PAC meeting just like they would with any other PAC meeting. A welcome with the opening ceremony, and then they had an activity, some fun things to do, awards, and announcements at the very end. All right, so I want to show you a couple of examples of their activities. Right after they did their welcoming, they actually did a game. So they got the kids up and excited and doing something fun, and made a scavenger hunt for their house. So it was as simple as bring me a shoelace, not attached to a shoe, which can be pretty tricky for kiddos, or find me a stuffed animal or a sister or something of that nature. Something fun and something silly for the kids to run and go grab and come right back. It makes them excited that they get to do an activity, but also gets some of that energy out, because we all know how kids do with, timing and sitting in front of a computer. So the next thing they did, most PACs do a cake bake-off. So they actually did a virtual PAC bake-off. So instead of having their PAC meeting where they showed off all their cakes and then voted on it, they did it virtually. So they had all of their scouts bake their cakes, send in their pictures of their kids with all their cakes, and they shared them all this way, which I thought was pretty nifty. So there's a lot of different cool designs here. And then at the very end, they decided that they wanted to provide awards just like they normally do, and they just did number 1 through 8 of vote for which one you think is the best. And then they provided different slides with the next slide with vote for whichever picture on here, which I thought was pretty nifty. So each slide following this synchrony afterwards is for a different category. So as soon as they finished that, they did some Mad Libs, which were again just another silly activity to do, and then followed up with announcements for their PAC, some award recognition in there also, and they talked about their spring virtual campout. So they found a way to make sure that they were engaging their families and doing something fun, and make it really exciting. And then at the end, they showed off some other fun cakes. Super, super easy to do, super easy to share. We don't, like I said, we don't necessarily know what this fall is going to look like, especially because every community might be different. What Burlington is able to do may be entirely different than what Woodland Park is going to be able to do. We just don't really know. So making sure that you are checking with your county health website is going to be really important for you. So make sure that you know what all the rules are that you need to follow, and making sure that we can do this, guys. We really can. Having a version of a hybrid meeting where you've got den meetings that can happen at people's houses, if we're able to do that, and then doing a version of a virtual PAC meeting. Keep it simple, but make it fun. Everybody's looking for something fun to do, and more often than not, the kiddos are just looking for an opportunity to see their friends and talk to their friends. So maybe build that into your PAC time, or maybe build that into your virtual den meeting, because the kids just want to see each other and they just want to talk to each other. When it comes to the other question I've been getting, which is, well, we just don't know what this fall is going to look like, so why should we recruit? What is the reasoning? Why should we do that? We want to provide absolutely every every person, every youth member, the opportunity to join the world's best program. That is our #1 goal in scouting, in life. We want to share this program that we love with everybody. And we don't want to let something that has been a real drag for a lot of people, COVID's affecting everybody differently, we don't want to let that really bog people down. So we are scouts. The 12th point of the scout law should be a scout is adaptable, and we can do this. A lot of Cub Scouting really does lend itself very well to being held in a virtual manner. There are some things obviously that you can't do, but if we think outside the box, we can all get through it. So I hope that that helps. All of our DEs are here and happy to help, and we're all happy to help come up with some alternative ideas. If you want to run an idea that you have by us and just say, hey, what are you thinking? We are here and happy to help, no matter where we are. If we're in the office or if we're at our home office, we are here to help you, and that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we are providing the best service that we can to you. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Brandon.
All right. Thank you, Monica. And thank you to the rest of the team for sharing everything. We're getting ready to close it out here. Make sure if you have any final questions, you pop them into the chat, and we'll do our best to handle those. I just want to close with a few things. In the past, we've had all these onboarding envelopes, a ton of just paper stuff that we get some folks to come in and stuff full of stuff, and we have those. We're going to have extremely limited physical items this year, just in terms of, people aren't really shuffling paperwork a lot these days, and it's just not really appropriate. So that's one more reason to turn on that Be a Scout pin. I don't think National has produced new applications reflecting the new fees for #1, and National is honestly, they're starting to phase out the paper application. So parents want to look for something, they want to sign up online, so turn that online registration on. So we're really working to try to help all of our units get through and turn on that online registration, and things like that. So lunch talks, like we shared that video, there's a handful of different versions of that for those that didn't see it in the chat. There's boys and girls of various kind of races and backgrounds, and so we're able to share those, whichever one you'd like to use, and we can tack on a little bit of information on the back. So like everybody said, this year's definitely going to be different, and we're going to follow up tomorrow with an email, just following up with everybody that registered for tonight, and we'll be able to share some of the links about everything that we shared tonight. Just want to address some questions while we've got it here. Both the national and council fees going to be part of the online application after August. Yes, our council fee doesn't kick in till January, so it is not starting in August like every other council that is starting in August. Ours is not. Ours is starting in January, and it'll be part of that. Part of the recharter essentially for you. So the new national fees are starting in January, in August, and so those will be kicking in here in a little over a week, and that will reflect online. Back to my notes here. Our brand assets, it is an available website for volunteers to get on and download different digital assets, videos, and pictures and things like that. But it is important that you utilize the Bsa Trademarks correctly. And if you ever have any questions about that, we can help you through that. But Bsa is extremely protective of its brand and getting more and more so. So they do have just specific ways that we use the trademark brand, and we just ask that you participate in doing it correctly. So so I'm gonna throw the final takeaways after tonight. Obviously, update that Be a Scout pin and manage that thing. Parents, you would be surprised how many parents will just go sign their kid up for Scouts before they ever speak to anyone. All they want to know is, where do they meet? They'll go on, they'll pay the fees, they don't need it, they don't need anything. They know they want to put them in Scouts, They just need to know where to go and what to do. So make sure you've updated that pin. Make sure you're following up with leads. The other thing is, if you don't follow up with a lead within 48 hours, they assume your pack is full and they move on. We all know your pack is not full. And so please follow up with that. Make sure you've got that online presence, Facebook, Instagram, Google, Nextdoor. Promote those Facebook events. We're picking up the tab to help promote Facebook events for every unit that has a Facebook page. Make sure you join in on those national webinars or watch those recordings. They are top notch. The national marketing and membership team are working really hard, working overtime this summer to make sure that we're ready for the fall. Commit to joining at least 2 events, one of which is obviously going to be an online version, and we're happy to help. We've got a council Zoom account. We can host multiple. We're working on being able to host multiple join nights at a time, and be prepared with that program plan to have some virtual meetings. Like Diana said, we're getting just a whole boatload of yard signs, and we want that 1,000 yard signs for hashtag scouting. We want that to be, a social media presence as well. So we would like everybody to come in, and we're going to have them. They're shipping right now. We expect them here by the end of this week or early next week. And we're going to have them at the office. And when you walk in to see our front desk, we're just going to ask you, here, take 10 yard signs with you, put them up, take pictures of them, tag it on Facebook, hashtag scouting. And speaking of hashtags, make sure you're always tagging the Pikes Peak Council. If on Facebook and Instagram, if you get at Pikes Peak Council BSA, that's both of those. We use hashtag scouting, hashtag Pikes Peak Scouts, hashtag Cub Scouts, hashtag We Own Adventure, hashtag Boy Scouts of America, hashtag pack whatever it is. Get creative, but start using those. And then August 8th in Nashville is hosting, they're calling the Family Fun Fest. It's an online event. If you, by any chance, tuned into the National Camp-In back in the day, this is like that, only with a invite the rest of the world to join scouting angle. So the National Camp-In was really kind of for scouts, and it was a whole day event online, Facebook Live, and it was really, really top-notch. It was super well done. But the National Camp-In is going to be a little bit more, and we're going to show a video on our way out. So yeah, we'll add some of those hashtags in the email that we send out. So did we get everybody's questions? Oh, I wanted to say something about virtual scouting. We know every single pack could always use more adult leaders. Virtual scouting, I think, brings us into, it really solidifies the concept of family scouting. And, no longer can a parent just drop their kid off and go. I guess they can go into the other room or something, but you might have an opportunity to really engage with parents because you can't directly engage with the children via virtual things. And so this could be an opportunity to really have them work together with their own son or daughter in the scouting program and really build that relationship. This program does wonders for families, and you might have some great adult leaders on the back end of it all. So are there any final questions? I'm trying to wrap this up just inside an hour, not quite inside, sorry about that. If there aren't any questions, I'm going to show the Family Fun Fest video. Yep, it's just a short little clip, and then that'll be that. So thank you all for coming, and have a great night.
If your kids like calling the shots on how to have fun, don't miss the chance to put them in the driver's seat at Family Fun Fest on August 8th.
From rockets to racing and painting to pets, kids will get the chance to build their adventure without ever leaving home.
It's the best outdoor fun you can have online. Invite your friends to this interactive event that will include fun chats, activities, and challenges you can do at home.
Find out more at scouting.org/familyfunfest.